Hey guys, this is Dave. I just wanted to update you on some really exciting news for the church. So, whether you are a covenant member or you have been visiting over the course of this summer or several months, or you're just now hearing about us, I just wanted to update you on some big things that are coming around the corner for us as a church. First off, most of you know we've been having worship at the lake all summer this past year, and it's been awesome. The Lord has really blessed us and given us that opportunity to really continue to meet in person in spite of everything going on regarding the pandemic. We have now just recently extended worship at the lake through October. And so we figured, hey, if we can bundle up in 20-degree weather to go to football games, we can bundle up in 30 or 40-degree weather and worship our salvation in Jesus. And so we're going to take a chance and push worship at the lake all the way through October, and we'll just hope for continued good weather for the next couple of months. However, at some point, it's going to get cold, and so we are having to make some significant decisions as a church, for especially when it does get cold. And so I want to back up just a little bit. And for those of you who don't know a whole lot about the Northstar Pulaski story, in 2012, 8 people formed a small group in Blacksburg to read through a book together called The Gathered and Scattered Church. And it was really about when the church gathers together and then as it scatters to be on mission for the Lord and for the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so we read through that book together. We were done. We moved our small group into Pulaski County. And then we grew by a few families, and then we read through the Tangible Kingdom Primer. And so it was another book that really talked about living life with great gospel intentionality 7 days a week. And so this small group grew. We running about 15, 20. We decided to have a Sunday morning worship expression. And so we launched in 2013 as Northstar Pulaski. And so for the first couple of years, we ran anywhere from 40 to 60 people. It was literally plus or minus 20, 25 people every week, and that's just how it was. But the small group continued to meet through the week, and it was around 15 to 25 people. And it was an amazing season of life because it was literally an all hands on deck mentality. So if we wanted to do a block party on Friday and it's Wednesday, we rally everyone, we throw a big block party on Friday. If we want to do a service project in the community, or we want to help a neighbor, or help someone within the church, or help someone in another church family, it's literal quick turnaround. It happened. And so it was an amazing season of life. But sometime around 2017, 2018, the Lord really just continued to bless our church family with numerical growth, along with incredible gifting and maturity. And so that's been awesome in and of itself. We've moved from Kreiser Elementary School to the YMCA gym, with great partnership with both of those organizations. And we just continue to grow. And that in and of itself is exciting. Worship has been awesome in the gym. We've got an incredible army of volunteers helping with the setup and teardown. And so then everything, shut down. And we live streamed for a couple of months. And we weren't really sure how everything would bounce back when we got to worship at the lake. And then God in his providence had lined up for us to do worship at the lake all summer long. And we came out of our quarantine growing that Sunday morning experience. And so although that has been awesome, it has been awesome, and I'm so thankful for those opportunities. I'm so thankful for all the families that the Lord has drawn in. The reality is, as this ship continues to grow as a church, the slower it is to turn the ship. And so whereas we used to be able to do block parties in a 2-day turnaround, now it's a 30-day turnaround in order to communicate well, in order to put the right people in the right positions to be able to do it well. And so with growth come growth pains. And so we've been wrestling through what that looks like. And really just personally, as a pastor, I've just really been wrestling with, along with most every other pastor in the world over the past 6 months or so, I've been really wrestling with, are we being as effective as we can be or should be or could be at making disciples, at equipping the saints for the work of ministry, at mobilizing the people of God for the mission of God? all of these things. I've really been wrestling. Are we doing the best job that we really could do at this calling that we all have, not just me as a pastor? So I talked with our elders about this. I talked with our staff about this, really wrestling through where I felt the Lord was drawing and calling us as a church. And even though I look around on that peninsula at Worship at the Lake all summer, and I see 100+ people hanging out, socially distancing if you want to do that, and it's a beautiful thing. But then at the same time, are we being able to hold each other accountable? Are we being able to love one another well? Are we being able to encourage one another? And so all of these things I've really been wrestling with. So I've been praying for literally months intentionally on what this is all about. I've sought counsel from outside Northstar, from ministry friends, from ministry organizations, not just here locally, but across the country and even internationally. And so I am now at the point where I wholeheartedly believe that the Lord has used the missional DNA, the all hands on deck mentality that we had from day one as a church. The Lord has used this awesome amount of gifting and resources that He's been drawing into our church family. He's used a pandemic to kind of nudge us out of the nest. He's used all of these things. He's used this burden in my heart as a pastor to move us as a church into more of an intentional, missional, disciple-making movement by way of shifting into a micro-church model. And before you go Googling what a micro-church is and all of that, you're not going to find a clear definition for where we believe the Lord is taking us as a church. We like the language of micro-church because it infers that it's part of something bigger. But it's going to basically communicate our gatherings that are happening on Sunday, whereas we'd typically be at the YMCA or we'd be at the park or the lake. What we're going to be is all over the county. Once a month, we're trying to find a location where we can have a once-a-month large corporate gathering as a church, but the rest of the weeks we're going to be gathered in homes and places throughout the county, and it'll be live streamed from the office or from somewhere. Our worship, the preaching of the word, prayer, facilitation of the Lord's Supper, all of that. So everything that people come on a Sunday to experience, they're going to receive in a corporate gathering. It's just going to look different. The corporate gathering could range from 10 people to 30 to 40 people, depending on where it's going to be. And the micro church is not their own little thing. It's still under the covering of Northstar. We're still one church family. Just because you're in a micro church in Fairlawn doesn't mean you're not going to connect with people in Dublin, Pulaski, Draper, Christiansburg. This is the Sunday gathering. And so Life Together is what we use for disciple making. That's going to continue happening, and it can cross-pollinate between the different micro churches. So just because you may attend a house in Fairlawn on Sundays for the weekend worship doesn't mean you can't be in Life Together with 2 or 3 other women or other families across the county during the week. And so it's just, the micro church is just that Sunday gathering, and it gives us a chance to really cultivate those environments where it's an all hands on deck, where we can develop relationships with each other and know each other well. I know that's terrifying, but that's what the early church did. That's what followers of Jesus do. And so you can encourage each other well. You can be equipped to use your gifting for the church well. You can be a part of this. And so another thing too is our families. We really have loved the fact that the Lord has drawn in young families with young kids, and we want this to be even a deeper expression of how we can love our families well. We don't want this shift to exclude families with kids. We're working hard. We're trying to be creative at how we can really cultivate these environments to welcome our kids of all ages, of all sizes, of all numbers of kids. And so we're working on that. We love your input if you've got some input for that. But we're really excited about the potential spiritually that this can mean for you as a follower of Jesus, and for us as a church, and really for our community. It puts us in a place where we literally are gathering across the county the region, and we are put in neighborhoods and in areas where we can literally invest in our community more intentionally. And so we're super excited about what this is going to look like. We still have a lot of questions about what it's going to look like. And again, we would love your input. We're going to kick off a 4-week sermon series this coming Sunday, first Sunday of September, that really unpacks that Acts 2 church. We're going to look at being the church. We've said for years, we don't just want people to go to church. We want them to be the church in our community, where they work, eat, sleep, play, all of that, to be the church. And so we're going to do a 4-week series on be, where we look at the early followers of Jesus in Acts 2, and that they were devoted, they were generous, they were together, and that they were loving. And so we want to be devoted, be generous, be together, and be loving as we continue to grow closer to the Lord on our spiritual walk, but also as we continue to grow as a church family. So here's the steps I'm asking you to do. We unveiled this to our members a couple of weeks ago. Our staff and elders have been on board for several weeks now, and all I asked our members to do last Sunday was to begin praying. We've got emotions all over the place, which is to be expected, but we really want you to pray. Whether you're a covenant member, whether you've just been checking out Northstar the past several weeks or months and you really enjoyed that experience, we want you to pray, because this is not a small shift. This is a significant shift, although I believe wholeheartedly it is a healthy shift for you, for your well-being, for your spiritual walk, and for us as a church and for our community. And so pray that you'll just be obedient where the Lord is calling you. Don't just cut and run because this sounds weird or sounds different. It is different. It's going to be different. But we also believe it's a biblical model. And so if you've got questions or doubts or fears, or certainly if you've got ideas for how we can see this thing through well, then please reach out. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to one of our elders or one of our staff, and share your thoughts, share your fears, share your hesitations in this shift. But we're super excited about where the Lord is moving. And so pray. We called the church to pray last Sunday in the sermon of a kingdom-centered prayer. This is going to take a high degree of selflessness. It's going to take a high degree of obedience and stretching of comfort zones. But again, our walk is never going to be easy spiritually. And so dream with us on what this can do for you and for your family and for your community, and for especially those around you who do not yet know Jesus. So again, pray with us, reach out, share some ideas with us. We want to continue seeing the Lord move and use us in incredible ways throughout this community for the glory of God and for our good. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we hope to see you soon.